What is confidence? Seems like a simple question, but I've recognized that I don't really talk about that too much directly. I certainly have mentioned confidence. I certainly talked about certainty at length and self doubt, things like that. But actually defining and understanding what confidence is and how it fits into all this stuff that I talk about, I realized I don't really do that or haven't done that. And I was listening to a podcast about it, and it really started to make me wonder, what's going on there. And I listened to a few different things after that first podcast because I wanted to get my mind kind of thinking about different inputs of what it might be. And probably the leading view or theory is that confidence is kind of it's a measure of the accuracy, our perceived accuracy of our thoughts, right? So if we develop a view or have a thought on something, confidence then speaks to how accurate we think we are, right? How sure we are that our assessment of that thing is accurate. So if I'm looking outside the window right now and I see a tree outside and I say that's probably about a 20-foot tree, how confident am I in that? Well, I start to now think about, well, if I ever measured trees before, is there a house out there that I know the size of and I can kind of benchmark it off of that? Am I totally guessing? And now that starts to dictate my confidence. Right? Obviously, it works internally as well too. If I have to give a speech at work, and I'm saying I'm going to be great, I have nothing to worry about. This is all going to go fantastic. Well, how confident am I in that? If I've given tons of speeches before and I know the prep process and I have it down and I've been working on my speech for a long time, yeah, okay, I feel like that's pretty accurate. Versus I've bombed every speech I've ever given, and it's 2 days from now and I haven't even started writing it. Well, now that same thought is not very confident. I'm not very confident in that. But that's not enough for me. I get it, right? It's logical. It all makes sense. But as always, I need to go deeper. I need to go to kind of first principles. What's really behind that? Are we lying to ourselves, right? Is confidence in some ways an ability for us to lie to ourselves? Is confidence, does it fit in directly to kind of our cost benefit analysis, or is it something on top of it? Like how strong or how accurate we think our cost benefit analysis is that we're constantly running? It's still too kind of ambiguous to me and unclear as to what exactly it is. And it doesn't fit in, right? It doesn't fit quite nicely into any of that to say exactly, what it is. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? It depends on the situation. It's kind of all over the map. And I need to spend more time thinking of it is probably the most important conclusion of all this. Because for all the reasons, right? We might want to look to grab some answer because I need to know what confidence is. So that's it. That's what it is, right? Whatever they said. That's not enough. But my leading view or theory of it, right, and hearing some more things about it is that maybe confidence in and of itself, it's a trick question. Maybe confidence isn't actually a thing, right? It's something that we've created to explain a phenomenon or describe an experience or a feeling, but it's not actually a thing in and of itself. What do I mean by that? Well, what some people believe is that people that are confident, there's not actually, because they are confident, they haven't added anything. There's not a new attribute to them. It's kind of a default state. It's actually people that are confident, it's because they don't have something that somebody else who is not confident has. So it's kind of the inverse. It's counterintuitive a little bit. And what is that thing? Well, most likely it's fear and how we respond and handle fear. So for confident people, they either just do a much better job of processing and handling fear, or they just don't have as much fear. Therefore, they appear confident. Versus somebody who's not confident, right? All that's really going on in their situation is that fear is a much stronger factor for them. They don't know how to handle it, they don't know how to process it, or it's just consuming them all around, right? They just have too much of it in their thinking, in their processes. That kind of makes more sense to me, that's what confidence is. Confidence is an explanation or a word that we can use for somebody who's able to more effectively process that fear. Now, it doesn't put a value statement on it whether it's good or bad, because as we've talked about, some fear is functional. You don't want to be confident of something you have no idea how to do, right? If I have to go drive a 18-wheeler truck across the country, I have no idea how to do that. I should not have confidence that. If I do have confidence, it's probably going to hurt me. I should have fear in that situation. Versus back to that speech example at work, if I've done all the work, if I prep for it, if I'm good to go, I shouldn't have a lot of fear. That's not functional. There's something else going on there. So when you look at it through that lens, you start to understand a little bit more how confidence comes into play. And then obviously you can get into the spectrum aspect of it, where when you hit supreme confidence, which becomes certainty, all the implications of that, as we talked about. When you go to the other extreme, where you have zero faith and ability in yourself, complete self-doubt, it's almost certainty, right? It's almost a circle. It's almost as useless and dangerous. But that's ultimately, at least my initial hypothesis of what confidence is. It's just a removal of fear from a situation, or at least a much better ability to process fear so it doesn't stop you from doing something. But you can't just stop at that, right? So many people just want confidence. I think what this tells us is that's not enough. You need to understand what type of confidence it is, or what type of fear it is, better said, and then figure out if it's a good thing or a bad thing.